Shavua Tov and Moadim L'Simcha. Mishnah Yomi is continuing in chapter 7 of Pesachim, Mishnah Gimel. Sachu b'shemen truba. What if they anointed or basted their carbon Pesach, their paschal lamb or goat, with oil that was truma oil? Now, truma is the first tithe given to the Kohanim, to the priests. So the Mishnah says, Im chavurat Kohanim yochlu. If the whole group is Kohanim, they're all priests, they can go ahead and eat it with the basting of truma on it. Im Yisrael, if there are regular Yisrael here, just means non-Kohanim, or Leviim would be the same din. Im chayhu, so if it's still raw, has not been cooked or roasted at all, yidichenu, you could rinse it off and wipe it off and remove the truma oil. Im tzlihu, if it's already been roasted, and then they apply the oil, so it's going to be hot and dry and cracked and absorbed. You have a problem. Yiklof et achitzon. You have to do a klipa. You have to peel off the outer layer where the oil was absorbed. And the Mishnah brings a variation here. Sachu, if they anointed it, b'shemen shel meiser sheni. Now, this time the oil is not truma, it's meiser sheni. Now, the din we learned in meiser sheni is anybody can eat meiser sheni in Yerushalayim itself. However, you cannot basically do business with it. Once the meiser sheni is in Yerushalayim, you cannot redeem it into money, into coins. So the Mishnah here says, Lo yasenu damim al b'nei chabura. So the person whose meiser sheni it belonged to, the person who owned this meiser sheni oil, can't monetize it and, ask the other members of the group for a donation to offset the cost of his meiser sheni, because you cannot redeem meiser sheni onto coins. You can't make it into money once it's in Yerushalayim. As the Mishnah says, She'ein podin meiser sheni Yerushalayim. Once your meiser sheni gets to Yerushalayim, you cannot turn it into money and use it to buy something else. So here too, he's basically donated it to the group, and they could eat it because they're in Yerushalayim. Of course, you have to eat the carbon Pesach in Yerushalayim, so they eat the meiser sheni in Yerushalayim, but he can't get a donation for this meiser sheni. On to Mishnah Dalet. Chamisha Dvarim. There are 5 items. Bain betuma. They come even though there's tuma, there's ritual impurity. These are talking about different offerings. Eina necholin betuma, but the meat from the offering is not eaten in tuma. Now the Mishnah lists them. The first is the Omer. And Baruch Hashem, we are on day 3 of counting the Omer. We're counting from after the carbon Omer was brought on the 16th of Nisan, the second day of Pesach. They would bring the carbon Omer. It was 43 1/3 eggs volume of barley made into a mincha. So this was brought even if the Kohanim were tameh or the offering was tameh, but it was not eaten if there was any ritual impurity. Ushtei halechem, and the 2 breads. This is the wheat offering brought on Shavuot. It's a mincha, and it was eaten only if it was pure. The lechem apanim. Lechem apanim is the show bread, or the bread of faces. They would have 12 loaves baked every week, and it was shared by the shift of Kohanim going in and going out to do the work that week. So it was always baked, even if there was tuma, even if the Kohanim were al tameh, but it was not eaten if it or they were tameh. Zivchei shalmei tzibor. These are shlamim that are brought on Shavuot, that are public offerings brought for Shavuos. Sirei Roshei Chodeshim, and the goats of Rosh Chodesh. This is sort of a chata, sort of a sin offering. There's some mystical sources that it's kiviyachol, as if it could be a sin offering that Hashem wanted brought for diminishing the moon. That originally the moon and the sun were equal, and the moon complained and was diminished, but there's some sort of recompense here for mystical sources talk about that. Now the Mishnah finally contrasts these 5 to the Pesach. A Pesach sheba b'tuma, but a Pesach that's coming in a state of tuma, and we're going to talk about that soon. Nechol b'tuma, it's also eaten b'tuma. So in short, if everybody's tameh, then what we normally do is most people are, God willing, tahar. Most people are pure. So the people who happen to be tameh wait until Pesach Sheni. But if the majority is tameh, or all of the Kohanim are tameh, even if everyone else is tahor, then you go ahead and bring the carbon Pesach in this state of tuma, even though it's going to get tameh, v'nechol b'tuma. And unlike the other ones, it's also eaten in a state of impurity. Shaloba mitchilato, the original purpose of the Pesach, elalechila, is to be eaten. That's the main focus. Yeshar kochachem moadim l'simcha.